So you was using After Effects at 12 years old?
So I was learning how to use Cinema 4D and stuff like that for my YouTube channel at the time. I had signed with some YouTube group out of Europe. Crazy. So this is all through Skype. This is all, promise you, this is all through Skype.
What?
This is all through Skype. I promise you.
Back again. We back again. Welcome to Curb East. You know, if you're not on the curb with us, you know what I'm saying, get up, get in front of it. But we're here today with a special guest, you know, a fellow creative. We actually met working on a shoot, ironically, but
hey man, that's how it be. That's how it be, you know what I'm saying?
So who are we here with today?
So what's going on, y'all? It's your boy TC, tapped in with the one and only, you know what I'm saying? Your boy's a senior, political science major, English minor, born in Brooklyn, New York, raised in Atlanta, Georgia. So,
okay.
For sure.
So going into our love for photography, how did this start for you? Like, what was the first moment that you was like, dang, like, I low-key want to get into this?
Off the rip, damn, how it all started. So I was a senior in high school, honestly. So I was a senior in high school. I had a homie who had a cam at the time, and we was mad cool. He's like my brother at the time. And he asked me if I wanted to borrow his camera. Yeah. And so I did. I said, hell yeah. Like, if you ain't going to use it, I'm going to use it, you know. And so by the end of the month, someone asked me, like, yo, how much you charge for photos? And I told him,
1 month is crazy.
Yo, by the end of the month, I told him like $5, bro. Like, real talk, I told him $5 for a photo. And I was just like, I never thought, like, growing up, you can make money off of, like, photography, off of being an artist, being a creative in general, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was something, they always taught you, like, STEM, like, math and science and all type of stuff. So, yeah.
So we have creative photographer. Yeah. Right, but then we also have poli-sci.
Yeah. So,
explain that balance to me.
Nah, facts. So, political science kind of came in because I was very adamant in trying to be into history. I was adamant in trying to be like a representation of our peoples and spaces that we weren't like quote unquote accepted in at times. And being from the South, I feel like we always was like, not always like taken for granted, but like we always like, you know, people always say like, oh, we'll just take care, give them the 1 or 2 policies or whatever, and that'll be it. You know what I'm saying? So I started kind of examining like our even our local leaders in a sense, like they get paid a lot of money, and it's just like, what are you doing for us beyond just the first 2 policies you put into place after you get into office? You know what I'm saying? It goes much more into like, it's a term, you know what I'm saying? It's a full term. So I started thinking like that, and political science just felt like it was meant for me at the end of the day. So that's kind of how I started into that field.
I low-key want to touch on the fact that you said growing up, you didn't know you can make money from photography.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think as we get older, we learn that you can make money doing a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure.
Being a creative, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, like, thinking about, like, somebody would pay me to make an outfit for them is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But also, like, taking pictures, like, and then getting booked in your first month.
Yo, so that's the thing. So my homie back home was like, yo, it was time, like, I would work with him. His, like, he was a personal trainer. You know what I'm saying? So in return, like, I would help him, and he would help me in the sense with our businesses, how we started out. And he was like, I told him my first time I had, like, I think a $300 client or something like that. He was like, bro, you charge him $300? Like, nigga, you don't charge me nothing. Like, how you gonna charge him $300? But I told him, like, bro, like, it got to that point. And I was in school, of course. I was at Howard at the time. So when me and him first started working together, it was when I had first started photography. So he got a chance to kind of see, like, the growth of my business in a sense. And, like, I had to start charging for my work at the end of the day. You know, it was something I didn't think I could do when I was younger, but I mean, it's been a blessing, and I always try to work with people when I can. So, you know,
what was that switch for you that was like, dang, like I do really good work, and now I want to get paid? Like, Like, of course, I mean, you got $5 in your first month, right?
Yeah,
so you was in the green coming out the gate, but like, yeah, like what was that moment for you that was like, I want, you know what I'm saying, I want to charge for my craft?
So I wanted my own camera.
Okay.
So that's how, like, initially I had my homie at the time. I had asked him, I'm like, yo, like, let me cut a contract with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me do, at the time, hear me out. All right, hear me out. I said 70-30, okay? 70 my way, 30 his way. Just because he didn't use the camera and it was his property. So I'm like, let me just pay you for the rental. Okay. And let me save it for my own camera.
But I respect that, though. Like,
yeah, I had my reasoning before. Yeah. I was trying to, like, win him over and then like that type shit. And, sorry, I'm from cussing, but he was like, nah, 50-50. Like, take it or leave it. And I'm like, wow, like, okay, like, that kind of forced me to go into business with him. Yeah. And over time, I kind of, like, saved up enough. And then my Dukes actually bought my first camera.
Shout out my Dukes.
Shout out my Dukes, man. Like, mama, she bought my first cam for my grad gift, senior year of high school. So by the end of my first year of photography, I had my first cam. Yeah. And it was the same camera my homie had type shit. So it was the same camera I was already kind of, like, learned.
What cam was it?
It was a Nikon D3500.
Big starter DSLR. Hey. I had the Nikon D3500 starter DSLR, bro.
But the kill was the fact that, like, I learned the ins and outs of that
camera.
And, like, I think that was probably one of the biggest things that allowed me to, like, progress in the field was the ability to, like, learn the ins and outs of the camera and be willing to do that. Yeah.
Because they say all the time, like, you can have a really good camera, but if you actually can't shoot, it's not going to come out the way you think it is.
Man, I done had folks who had mad expensive gear before ask me, like, all type of questions about their gear that they own. And I'm just like, your shit costs more than mine. Like, I
do some research.
What you want me to say about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know my principles. I know, like, what I know how to shoot with. Yeah. I give them advice and tips because I feel like I've used expensive gear before. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just being able to, of course, like, have an understanding on, like, what the art is and, like, how you're able to, like, once you learn what the art is, you can break the art, you can break the discipline
down into you can dissect it.
Yeah, man, make it your own.
Yeah. So you spoke about Howard earlier, right? We're both at Howard, but how does it feel to, like, I feel like if I'm thinking about photography, right? Yeah. And disclaimer, I don't feel like I'm the most tapped in, but, like, if I'm thinking about photography, like, your name is the first that comes to mind.
I feel like, I mean, for one, that's a blessing. I appreciate you for saying that. I feel like over time, like, I feel like I've gotten a chance to, like, leave a mark. Yeah. Impact with people. I always tell people it's always about how you make people feel at the end of the day and interactions with people. And so I always remember that. So, like, when I first started photography on campus, like, I remember, like, I used to bring a speaker. I still do it. I bring a speaker to my shoots and stuff like that and let my clients connect to my speaker. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they set the vibe
for that they want. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I rock out to whatever you want to listen to because at the end of the day, for one, it's your shoot. And you're paying me for your shoot. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I learned a lot of, like, personalities from people. Yeah. You know, got a chance to have really good conversations with people. And for a lot of people, it was the first time having a photographer. Yeah. And, you know, that's a big thing to me. Like, I've always wanted to be, like, you know, just to be someone's first photographer is, like, it's cool. Yeah. You know? So
how do you manage, like, being somebody's first photographer, like, working with a first time client, right? But that's not even new to you, but new to, like, photography and, like, the art and the craft. Like, how do you bridge your expertise to, in a sense, like, what they don't know?
I would say, like, for one, you can always tell whether they tell you or not if it's the first go around, first rodeo. Okay. You know, but I would say, like, being able to communicate and have that first meeting about what their plan is. And for me, with my clients, I kind of asked them, like, yo, how do you want to make your, like, whoever sees, or how do you want to make the art feel in a sense, you know? With clothing brands, I ask people, like, how do you want your brand to come off as? Yeah. When people scroll on Instagram, what's the first thing you want them to feel when they see your post? You know what I'm saying? And that's how we kind of build the trajectory of the Instagram, of the photo shoot, if they have no idea at all.
Yeah.
And for my first time clients, I kind of give them like an insight into like a shot list, a mood board, and like what kind of goes into a photo shoot, so they kind of have an idea in which like
thorough.
And yeah, and like this is what you're paying for. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna get a shot list, you're gonna get a mood board, you're gonna get an opportunity to like have an experience. And a lot of times it's crazy for me, and especially in this day and age, it's just like people don't get that experience with the photographers. They don't get the chance to like really like sit down and have like a shot list or like go over like the ideas or the colors or like you know, all the stuff that really, really matters that you may think may not matter at the time, but it's down to the outfit, it's down to the posing, you know, all that good stuff. So
I want to talk and speak on like working with you as a professional, right? Like for one, I think actually seeing you work allows me to respect your craft so much more. Because even when, shout out Clue, go shop Clue.
Hey, shop Clue.
Shop Clue.
Yes,
but
yes.
Seeing us work on that shoot together and like when you switch to the 70mm, right? Mm-hmm. And the shot just filled out. Like, I think for me, it was just like, I wouldn't have thought to do that. But the quick expertise there, like the pop of light in the corner, or even like us being able to bounce ideas off of each other, like, all right, how do you feel about this? Like, or how do you feel about this? And like you're experienced in your craft. So the fact that like you didn't know me from a can of paint, but you used to like, all right, like like let me see what he has to say, what he has to offer. And like I think the biggest thing I can say was like the respect that was there.
And for me, like, I don't ever, as a creator, I mean, for one, I respect the ability to work with you as well.
Yeah.
I appreciate that opportunity. But as a creative, I never wanted to get caught up in, like, thinking, like, what I do is best. You know, being able to accept critiques. Sometimes I feel like I accept too much critique at certain times.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, being able to be, I guess, a team player at the end of the day and understand that, like, there's gonna be ideas that you may have not thought of, or maybe like you thought this shit was gonna look this one way, but came out this way instead. You know, I've been there before, and honestly, my best shots come from when stuff didn't go the right way.
Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? It's when like things didn't go the right way, I'm able to adjust and trust my gut, and go with that. And usually that's when my best shots come out. For real, for real.
So I want to touch on two things, right? You said for one, you don't think your ideas are best, right? I think as creatives, I think all creatives are naturally more inclined to what they want to do. Like I was talking to a mentor, and she's a life coach, and she's basically saying that like working with creatives, it's a little hard as business people because they're so stuck in a sense on what they want out of their like idea. So how do you not get married to ideas as a creative?
So, damn, that's crazy of a question. Well,
it's a deep question.
As deep as a question it is, it falls back for me to the simple experience I had. And I was back in middle school, and I had a teacher named Mr. Freeman. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Mr. Freeman.
Shout out Mr. Freeman.
Crazy enough, I went to all boys middle school. Just to let y'all know. And so I'm in 7th grade, and he asked a question, and I forgot the question was, but I answered the question. His response was like, "That was a good answer, and the way you answered the question, I understand that you're going to be able to work with a lot of people in life." Because
and it came true.
It wasn't like it was. I wasn't just stuck in my way with the answer. I was in a broader view of the situation at hand. And he was like a social studies teacher or whatever, so it could have been anything like history related. But when he said that to me, it kind of resonated with me because like I knew deep down like when people had arguments and fights or whatever, I was always the one in the middle, like trying to hear both sides of the story, because they know Trail's gonna be the one that's gonna be like, who's right, who's wrong, and I'll tell them like, y'all both wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I can understand how
I respect that though.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can see both perspectives, and so over time, I kind of like understood like being a business owner, you're just solving people's problems. You know, you're being a problem solver, and as long as you're a problem solver, like you're gonna be in business, you're gonna be good. You know, as long as you give good energy, people should get good energy back. So for sure.
And then you said that sometimes you feel like you accept too much critique.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How do you manage that post shoot? Like when it's you editing the pictures and like you thinking to yourself like, I know we should not do this idea, or like this could have been better. Like,
yeah. So
how do you manage your emotions when you actually when 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10 you probably there's nothing you can do at that point?
at times, like, so that comes down back to like shooting for a client and shooting for myself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause when you shoot for a client, you're shooting for what they're looking for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm low-key, like, even though you booked me for my high-quality work, I'm still trying to match what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one work to look at it. And then when I'm working for myself, I have more freedom in what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And then it makes it more comfortable. But getting back to the client work, it's really coming back down to like communicating what I'm able to do.
Yeah.
And what my capabilities are. Like, a lot of times people show me a lot of things off of Pinterest and stuff like that, which is amazing and great. But like they had a whole set production for that photo, and
they had 4 people on lights. They got
you know what I'm saying. They had a whole like $1,000 light set up, and we working with like $250, $500 with the light set up. You know what I'm saying? So, that's not a small number either. No, you know what I'm saying. It's not a small number, but I embraced the challenges.
Yeah,
I embraced the opportunities because at the end of the day, I feel like. When you put yourself in these positions, especially at a young age, I feel like I always believe like pressure makes diamonds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so slowly and surely over time, as you progress, you become into a really full-fledged diamond, and you be good. So,
hey,
for sure.
We got quotes right here. I hope you're taking notes. We have quotes, but were you always a creative?
What was that?
Were you always a creative?
Was I always a creative? Yes.
So before photography, what were your other art forms?
So I was technically a YouTuber before I was a photographer. Yes. I was one of the kids that was young on YouTube at like 12, 11 years old. I used to make money off of like Minecraft videos and server reviews.
So you were monetized on YouTube?
I had like 4K subscribers at like 12, 13. No cap, ain't gonna cap. And the only reason why I sold the YouTube channel, which is crazy, I'm gonna say this, it's crazy because I let my peers get into my head about what I was doing. Because I wasn't
about it.
Because I wasn't what other folks in Atlanta was doing at the time. Yeah. It was like like, bro, you got other stuff going on. Like, come do this, come do that. And so I sold that channel for like, what, $40, $60 at the time. Yeah. And do I regret it? Nah, because it had one copyright strike already. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it had already, but that one video had like over 200, 300,000 views. It was a tutorial on how to get Adobe After Effects or Premiere for free.
Pirate?
Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah, it was a whole tutorial. I ain't gonna cut. That shit had like, I made like maybe 50,
So you was using After Effects at 12 years old?
So I was learning how to use Cinema 4D and stuff like that for my YouTube channel at the time. I had signed with some YouTube group out of Europe. Crazy. So this is all through Skype. This is all, promise you, this is all through Skype. What? This is all through Skype. I promise you, it's all through Skype. And so they ended up blowing up too. Like they ended up getting like 1 million subscribers one day, and like they real deal like started going up. But like I was like 5-6 hours on a different time zone, and I'm like 3-4 years younger than these guys. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But they had I give them their respect because they gave me my respect. Yeah. As for one, they didn't know I was like fully black. They didn't care I was black. Second of all, they knew I made good content. Yeah. And I was a youngin' making good content, so I was able to go on these servers, and it was just Minecraft stuff. You would never thought that was going to be a thing, but it turned out to be very successful. It taught me a lot and allowed me to get into like the habit of just production and quality and how to really do those type of things at a young age. So
signing deals at 12 years old.
Yeah, I wish I knew. I wish I remember the name of the network, but that was a time when like before YouTube monetization, they had like small groups you can like get signed to. And they will help you promote your channel and stuff, and they'll pay you like salary or like revenue off of that. So
I wanna call on the producer camera quick. I want to talk to Rich. You started making TikToks, right? And we were talking about how our environment a lot of times makes us stray away from the things that we want to do.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that?
I think what I'm doing now is like
Mike?
my answer to that. Like your question is like, have I experienced like outside people just trying to input or talk about what I'm doing?
Yeah.
My answer was the TikTok, was these lifestyle videos. Like I'm just doing this for me. This is my art. Want to showcase it, want to post it, and that's just for the love of the game. But people like getting under your skin or just seeing that self-doubt or just trying to critique it. I'm like, nah, F all that. I know exactly how these videos are going to come out in my mind, this art I want to share, so I can push it out exactly how I want, whenever I want. And like I said, that's the answer. Like this idea of like, people trying to get into, that's my answer, these videos.
That's tough.
And if y'all want to go check out what these two were working and how they were working, you can see a little glimpse of that on
your TikTok. Yeah,
but I can't wait for more of that content to drop, because when these two minds were going to work, it was crazy. And like I said, we got three great minds going to work, not caring about what anybody else thinks. We all in tune with our craft too.
Yeah,
crazy work.
And speaking of what you just said about that too, like letting other people like dictate or get into your creative flow and process. Like I dropped a video on YouTube probably like I think 2 or 3 months ago now, and it was a Howard Homecoming step show. And I'm a photographer first, videographer second, right? And so I was getting paid by the university to go shoot for photos for the step show.
Yeah.
All right, and I just shot the concert on the yard. I shot the entire day, so I'm lucky charging
all your stuff,
all my stuff, like while I'm shooting throughout the day. And so I get to Burr, I get to shooting for the step show, and I see that there's no one shooting video. I see like the main like maybe Spotlight or whatever company organization shooting like from the far
back,
end.
yeah. But
no one's up close getting no cool ass angles and then like that. So I'm like, man, like the photos look alright, look kind of okay, but then I'm just like, yo, I could really do video. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? And so I do a whole video segment of like recording the step show while I'm shooting photo. Like I'm going in between as much as I can, and I post a video. And so it took me like 2 or 3 days to get the video done because I shot it all in 4K. That's like 2 hours worth of footage.
Yeah.
And like the size of the files,
the rendering.
Like I had a flash drive just for the files for the Homecoming step show, and I posted it. And to wrap it back to the idea, what I was mentioning with what you said was, I had received I received multiple comments or whatever, but it was like one comment, and it was just like, oh, he ain't post the full show. And I remember I had posted on Instagram, it's like, yo, like, I took the opportunity just to capture what I could, because I was paid to be there for photography.
And this was extra, like
this was extra on top of on top of the photos type, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was already getting critiqued on what I did off the top, and for me it was something I was like, damn, like I never wanted to get critiqued on that. You know what I'm saying? I initially started off just like, yo, I'm gonna drop this just for the culture. I gave the organizations access to the footage. If someone tried to reach out to me and buy the footage actually and try to charge, it was like, yo, like I'm gonna buy it from you, don't drop it yet, blase, and I'm just like, I didn't do it for the money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I know that he would have went back and charged he may have, let me not assume that, but he may have went back and charged the organizations for the footage if they wanted it to. And I didn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So now we're on the topic of videography.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? What something happened recently. Something happened recently.
For sure.
Yachty and Tank.
Yeah, so
let's talk about that. Recording that a safe place pod.
So there's an opportunity to watch a production set I was a part of for a safe space. We got a chance to record Tank and Yachty together in the DC gym, out of where Tank actually like trains out of and shit like that. So it was a great opportunity. I was actually assistant DP, and I helped manage audio for the podcast and the episode. Yeah. And it was cool. It was definitely very cool. I'm very blessed for the opportunity, of course. I thank God for it. And just being to see, I got a chance to talk to Yachty on the side a little bit. He was cool folk. And then just seeing Tank just, train afterward. They say, no phones, no cameras, nothing like that after the interview. So, we was all chilling. But we got a chance to see him train. And, just watching him train was crazy work, like for sure. Like he's like that. I ain't gonna cap. That man's like that. and actually crazy enough, they was filming his Amazon Prime TV show that same day, or his like episode for his Amazon Prime premiere. And I got a chance to connect with one of the producers or like videographers for the Amazon Prime stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was 22. He was like,
what?
Yeah, he was 22, bro. And he had a mentor with him, and he was telling me how like his mentor had 7 Emmys, and you couldn't tell by the top. Like you looked at him from a blind eye, you couldn't tell he had 7 Emmys. But the way they was recording shit, like bro, it was like that. Like it's gonna be hard.
How was that? Was that one of the biggest sets that you worked on?
Biggest sets,
like in terms of like you being a part of a team.
I think it kind of matched what I'm used to, if that makes sense. Like, I actually expected it to be more, but I realized that it don't take a lot to do more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It kind of reminded me like what you got is what you work with. And mind you, it's high quality stuff, but the way we was able to kind of, for reference or like for kind of for background information, I was reached out for audio, and I was able to help my media team I recently signed with assist with just with lighting and audio.
Yeah.
And the visuals was being done by another member of their team, and I assisted him.
Yeah.
But being able to help bring my team on board with that and helping to do all that in general was just it was just a great opportunity, and it was cool. So.
And what was the best shoot that you've done, video and photo wise?
Oof. I mean, I've done a great amount. I feel like shoots, I would do like one that's like actually like planned and one that's actually like event work.
Okay.
Because like they're two different fields. I feel like you can plan a shoot and then you can do event work.
Event work's more pivot. It's more like what do you have? What can you work with?
You can't recreate event work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so my favorite shoot for like my portraits, stuff like that, I would say like honestly, I did a shoot for my friend Jordan. She's a stylist, and it had happened to be when the university just signed with the Jordan brand. Mm-hmm. And it was just, and it was like our friend Rashawn, it was his birthday, and he was hosting a party. It was like the Jordan Met Gala or whatever. And so she designed a red dress, right? She just designed this like elegant red dress, and I do a photo shoot with her in front of Douglas. And at first, the photos don't come out exactly how they want to come out. Like, they come out trash, bro. Like, terrible. And then, like, by the end of the photo shoot, like, we was cooking, and I go home. I edit the photos. I tell him, like, man, like, I'm going to just drop them when I'm going to get done with the photos. So I'm just drop them anyway. It was, like, 2 in the morning, like, damn near almost 2 in the morning. And I remember, like, waking up to, like, messages and like likes and stuff like that. And one of my homies was like, yo, like, why'd you drop it so late? And I told him, like, yo, like, it was just in the spur of the moment.
Yeah.
You know, you just like once you get into the mode and as a creative, like, you just want to work. You don't care about the likes. You don't care about what time it was posted. You just want to drop it. You know what I'm saying? So I think a day goes by, and then like she calls me as I'm driving back to my crib. I had my friends in the car. It was just a darty going on campus. It was lit. And I caught a ticket that day. I speeding ticket that day during this conversation, but I didn't care. Like right by that hospital, right there on Michigan Avenue. And she was like, "Oh, like, yo, check your Instagram." I'm like, "Why? What's up?" And she was like, "Yo, like, I got a DM from the Nike team." And it was like, yo, they want to use a photo on like their Instagram and like on their social media and stuff.
That's hard.
And I ended up using the photo I took of her and like in her Jordans, and like maybe you can put the photo up or whatever for reference. But it was definitely like a great experience. That's one of my favorite shoots I did, like portrait wise, for sure.
And that
event wise, it's definitely the offset photo. I'm sorry, the offset photo I took. It's like they don't tell you this when you working and stuff like that, but certain moments you get in the line of work, it's gonna feel like a high.
Yeah.
And you're gonna try and chase that high for the rest of your life, the rest of your career, I promise you. And I tried to do that with the Offset photo because I tried to do the same photo with Ty Dolla $ign this past year, and I did capture it, but it didn't feel the same. It did not feel the same. You know what I'm saying? And that was because like with Offset photo, it was so natural, and the way it happened, like he had hopped off a stage, and like I'm backtracking while he's walking towards me, and I see him going like he's finna go around the back end of the big old square. And so I cut to the other side, or I cut in between whatever he was running through, and I catch the photo. So I'm backtracking into people or whatever, into the stands, and that photo alone like came out so well. I'm just like, damn, like I don't know if I could like match that photo exactly, but like that moment lives rent free for sure. Yeah.
Hey, producer Ken, question, all right?
What's up, bro?
So I always, you know what I'm saying, like watching the NBA, watching other stuff, like you always see that one shot. Like that one, like how did it feel capturing that shot? Like looking at the picture afterwards, like how did that make you feel? Did you feel like, wow, I really just got one?
Yeah, like when you import as a photographer, like when we import your photos, for me personally, I always import from the first to the end, like from the timestamp from when I first started that day to the end, just in case there's anything I missed or anything that may have been a good shot that I missed. Right. I see everything, which is why people ask me like, did I miss the photo? No, I didn't miss the photo. I import everything. And so getting that one photo, like I didn't know I got that shot. It was like I know I got a lot of good shots that day. And just going back, tapping through the shots, I saw that shot and I was like, oh shit. Like it was like oh wow, like this looks good, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of like warmed my heart a lot because I knew like that was gonna be the first photo of that slideshow. Yeah. You know, it was a lot of moments from that, from that homecoming. It was the 99th homecoming that year. But man, yeah, that's when I knew, like, just tapping through and seeing that photo, it was like that's the shot.
It just
right
stood
there.
out.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
In terms of portrait, what do you like to shoot the most? Because he was talking about sports, we was talking about brand stuff, we're talking about like just regular portraits. So like what's your favorite
My favorite
category almost? And what do you shoot with now?
Okay, cool. So my favorite, like, I guess category, I would say like it is events. I love events a lot. And it's the ability to like just meet people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, like I love taking pictures of artists, but I actually like taking pictures like the people and the fans and stuff like that more. Cause like they get a chance to like get pictures taken of them when for one, they don't always think they'll get pictures taken of them. Yeah. And second of all, it's like a moment they're gonna get to cherish. And I just feel like that's for me, like that's what photography is about. Like the artists, they're gonna get the photos, they may post it, they may tag you, they may not tag you, you know what I'm saying? But that person who got that photo gonna remember that photo, for sure. So that's why I feel like events my favorite. Yeah. Of course I do portrait, I do studio. And right now I shoot with a Canon R8. I got that camera last year, February last year. So almost a year now, actually. Yeah. I think about it. And it was an upgrade because I kind of like maxed out my quality with the ADD I had at the time. Okay. Yeah, so I kind of had to like, my mentor at the time was like, yo, you take good photos, but
there's a new height you can reach.
Yeah, you can kind of tap into something more. And so I sold my ADD. I upgraded to this R8. I wanted the R6, but the eBay buyer, he kind of finessed me. He was like, I bought it for like, I won the bid for like $1,400 or $1,500. The camera goes for like $1,800, $1,700, and so he didn't ship the item. And so I ended up having to go to the camera store in person. Cause I was just fed up. I'm tired of winning bids and not getting my stuff. Yeah. So I ended up going in person and bought the camera. Yeah, it was one of like 3 investments that quarter I did for myself. Yeah.
And then let's talk team, all right? Like you brought up your mentor, right? Yeah. So of course you have the older people that you look at that can pour into you and kind of guide your ropes. But in terms of team, we have like your partner with a studio.
Yeah. So I kind of grown like starting at Howard. I was a sophomore. I had to put a studio in my dorm at Towers. At the time, people told me like
you had a A 2-bedded towers?
So initially I was staying in East. I had a single.
Okay.
And it couldn't fit in there.
Yeah, because fitting a studio in towers is kind of crazy.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy. And so I was living in a single in East. I was like 742. Sorry to call it that number, but if you're living in there, you living in a great room. And I was living there, but I couldn't fit a studio in there. Yeah. And during December, it had flooded. I woke up one morning, maintenance knocking at my door. I had just packed up for winter break, thinking I'm finna fly out in the next couple of days. They're like, "Oh, it's a flood." I hop out the bed, water on the floor. I feel like water on my feet. I'm just like, "Yo, what's going on?" And so I ended up getting moving to West that same month. Moved to West, and I get moved to like a large shared efficacy, whatever it's called. And homie was from Chicago. His name's Temmie, and he let me put a studio in the room. Like, it was big enough to fit the studio. And I was able to shoot from like the doorway into the room. And that was like a full body shot. I could do 3/4. And I ended up shooting Cecily. Shot Cecily. She was the Miss Howard that year. She actually was Miss Kofa. She was the first Miss College of Fine Arts from the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts that year when they changed the name over. And she won Miss Howard that year through my photos and campaign. So
that's tough. That's a story.
Oh yeah, I mean, she knows we always and we both from Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? So it's always love. She out there doing her big one, traveling, doing fine arts and stuff like that. So yeah,
kill.
Yeah, musicals and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now where do you shoot at?
So yeah, now I shoot with 72 Studios.
Shout out 72 Studios.
Shout out 72 Studios. You know what I'm saying? I got a chance to put my studio there after moving towards campus, and so it was been an opportunity that I've definitely been blessed for. You know, working with Marcel, Tyler, Darius, Jacob, other Jacob, like all of them type shit. That like they're my family now. You know what I'm saying?
That's love.
Mind you, like they had their own studio beforehand, and so when I kind of had to move, I kind of came to them with the idea like, yo, let's combine our ideas, our equipment, and let's try to make something shake. And so we did. I always wanted to have a studio one day. You know, I'm on a 10-year plan right now to open a studio somewhere, either in D.C. or in Atlanta. But I believe it will come into fruition, of course, through God.
Amen.
And amen. You know what I'm saying? But I'm appreciative of the opportunity to create a safe space for a creative space near campus that people can create work. Artists can come through, photographers, clothing brands can kind of collaborate and talk to one another. Like, even that day we worked together, seeing folks stay afterward and just talk to one another and stuff like that. It was cool, and that's kind of what it's meant for. You know what I'm saying? Just as a community, as a Black community at that. So, yeah.
So you like DC? I feel like a lot of people that I talk to that go to Howard, they fake be hating.
What?
Nah, I be hearing it, bro.
Right. Nah, I'm DC down, man. Like, ain't gonna cap. DMV got my heart. But the reason why I say that is because when I first came to DC, first of all, when I first came to DC, I almost got jumped. Okay, I almost got jumped by the Five Guys not too far from here, to be exact. And I was
Five Guys on the street?
Yeah, right there on New York Avenue, right there, right on New York Avenue. For
That's
sure.
Crazy.
I was on the school tour of my high school. Shout out Westlake, you know, from the South Side, Atlanta, Southwest Side, Watts. And so I came on the school tour, and we went to Hampton, Howard, and Cat. All right, went to Hampton. We got rained on, of course. It's Hampton. Yeah. And we got sick, right? So we came to Howard. Ain't gonna cap. We had this little pretty AKA give us a great tour. You know what I'm saying? I asked all the questions I need to ask. And so we ended up going. We supposed to go to Ben's Chili Bowl for our dinner. Cool. We didn't end up going to Ben's to say it was too many of us. So we ended up going to Five Guys. And it's a bunch of like sophomores and juniors in high school.
Yeah.
And it was majority girls because like where I'm from, there's more girls than guys in my high school. And so I remember just sitting in the Five Guys with my friends, and I'm like staring out the window. And I didn't realize I was like, mind you, I was kind of sick. So I'm like mean mugging the window. But there was a guy behind the window type shit. So I kind of realized I was mean mugging him, and he was trying to like be like, oh, what's up? Like, what's up? And so I'm like, oh, he talking to me? Like, word? So I said, oh, what's up? And he walk in, we kind of go back and forth. There was a white guy inside the five guys. He was kind of be inappropriate with some of the girls as well. So all the chaperones was focused on that situation. And when he went back and forth, it kind of caused the situation to kind of like shift towards us. And they ended up having to call the cops. And then the cops came and had to like guide the bus back to the hotel. And it was just a lot. It was a lot. But DC is definitely my favorite because it's just the community, the people.
Yeah.
I came out from Atlanta and I had folks from Atlanta tell me, oh, they didn't fuck with DC. They didn't like DC at all. But I gave it a chance and it's been good so far. You know, I do like it a lot.
So, do you also want to stay here for poli-sci reasons as well, or?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, my main goals are like, I major in political science, I minor in English. I really wanted to do photojournalism on the political scene. So that's how I kind of want
to marry the two.
Yeah, when I made it make sense. And so initially that's what I would want to do in DC after I graduate. But I'm definitely open to seeing where opportunities go, where life takes me, that good stuff.
And are you still trying to do photojournalism?
Oh, yeah. I feel like with the opportunity I had with the university, I got hired from the university when I was a senior.
Okay.
I got hired by them.
Last semester?
Actually last year. So I'm in fifth year as well. And so I got hired by them, and it was cool. I got hired and then laid off because I'm a student employee. Crazy stuff. But by working for them, I got a chance to be a part of the Howard magazine and the Dig. And that gave me magazine credits and publication rights or publication credit online to a lot of the events and stuff that was happening at Howard. And they would use my photos on LinkedIn and on the billboard. So it was just like, win-win situation. Yeah, I was making like hourly or like whatever the student wage was at the time, but the connections and like the mentorship I had from my mentor at the time through the university, it was cool. He got a chance to go shoot for Getty Images in LA.
Yeah.
He got a chance to meet like Oprah, Tyler Perry, and all of them. And he's like real nonchalant with it. He wouldn't he wouldn't tell you, but he would just be very cool with it. And but yeah, respect to him.
What's next? Like what's not even what's next? What's one thing that you're looking forward to in this year?
I think one thing I'm looking forward to this year is the blessings God has written in my chapter.
Amen.
I think that's really what I can kind of boil it back down to. I didn't think I was going to graduate at Howard University. I came to Howard not thinking I would be able to afford to go to Howard. And so
He's going to make a way.
You know what I'm saying? My mom always said, if there's a will, there's a way. And so I always believe in that and just trusting in him with whatever comes next in my life. Just doing that thing recently with the whole Javante and thing, like, I feel like that alone could highlight someone's year. You know what I'm saying? That could be my highlight for so long. But I don't want it to be the last thing I do, nor would it be like the biggest thing I do this year. I feel like I want to kind of just let God continue to do his big one.
Yeah. You said 10-year goal, studio.
Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Who's in the next 10 years? Who are 3 people that you want to shoot for?
Shoot for?
Yeah.
In the next 10 years?
Yeah. Or like have them be a subject in your shots.
Like get portraits of?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Crazy enough. It's crazy. I want to get a portrait of Obama.
Okay. For
sure. Like, I know it's crazy, but like first black president, that'd be an amazing opportunity. Secondly, a portrait of Cam Kirk. Cam Kirk, he's a photographer down in Atlanta.
Okay.
And I had a membership at his studio, and he used to be across the street from Magic City. Crazy enough. And I had a membership there. I used to shoot there all the time. And it gave me the comfortability to work in the studio.
Yeah.
In a sense. And so that's the second person I get a portrait of. And these are the third person I work for in a sense. Man. Honestly speaking, like if I get a portrait of my folks, in the studio I work, or in my office.
Yeah.
I think that would be like the final touch.
A cherry on top.
Yeah, that'd be the cherry on top. Because at the end of the day, I feel like I've built so much, I've done so much.
Yeah.
And it's always like, it's through them. It's because of them, you know? So I have mad respect for my parents, stuff like that. For sure.
To Little Trail, all right, that is doing YouTube, like,
Right.
but that doesn't yet know that he's gonna be a photographer. Like, what do you have to say to him?
Man, don't stop. Don't stop believing in yourself. Don't listen to anyone else that don't have the same idea as you, because at the end of the day, you know, how can we believe in others that may have not been where you want to be yet? You know, I never thought where I am today is where I am right now, and you know, just being able to try new things, trial and error is probably the biggest thing. Like, people see all the stuff that I've posted, but when I first started, I didn't have like all the likes and all the comments and stuff like that. Nah, twin, that shit, it started with like 20 likes of like a photo of a flower. You know what I'm saying? Like, it started from me just learning the ropes, the basics. And honestly speaking, I feel like that's why I tell my younger self, just keep going, for sure.
Who are your personality questions, real quick? Who are your favorite artists?
Favorite artists?
Yeah.
It always changes. Like, I feel like I listen to so much music, you know what I'm saying? It always like develops and changes over time, like sections of my life. I can say, like, as of right now, I've been listening.
Top 3.
As of right now, I've been listening to, I ain't gonna lie, I've been listening to a lot of Baby lately, which is crazy because I wasn't, but I was now. But Baby is definitely top up there. Yevo, that's a lot of big Yevo. And I would say my third artist recently I've been listening to is 21 Lil Harold.
Okay.
Out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
So, why I've been listening to them, it's just been in my current playlist. But I kind of like, I always change it up every couple of weeks, every other week type shit. So, yeah.
Hey, quick question. As an Atlanta native, Baby or Gunna?
Oh my, here he goes, bro. Oh!
I'm sorry.
Gunna.
Look, I respect both of them.
You see how he sat back down? They got that.
Y'all know where I stand.
You know what I'm saying? I won't hesitate. Gunna is my favorite.
Gunna over Baby, bro. I'm sorry. Did you like his album?
I did.
I didn't listen to it.
Word?
Yeah, I didn't.
No. Baby has some hits.
Gunna? Oh, so across the board, Gunna. Yeah.
I'm gonna stand on that hill. Wait till the next album drop. It's cool.
Okay.
We'll be waiting.
Yeah, it has some couple hits on there. Outfit was cool.
Yeah.
I fuck with Outfit. Dumb and Dumber, of course, with Thug's verse coming through, and the one with Rod Wave on there, I think it was kind of cool too. Yeah. And the one with Future, I think 99 Problems, something like that. With Future was cool. Couple good songs, but.
Is there anyone that you'd want to shoot with before you graduate Howard?
See, I'm supposed to be done in May, so
yeah. So a quick little 3-month goal.
3-month goal. I want to keep it realistic. You know what I'm saying? I want this to kind of like go to them and see this and like, yeah let's work. Honestly, I wanted to work with Nino Pade.
Okay.
Nino
Pade.
I just
this
met
is the
him
second
recently.
time.
He was cool as hell. Yeah, I just met him recently. Actually, I did his interview at a performance he was at, and just his vibe and energy was cool. Like, I started listening to his music more, and yeah, I'm definitely fucking with it for sure.
Nino Pade, this is the second time your name has come up on this podcast, bro. We need to get you on here.
For sure. For sure.
And to close this out, who are 2 people that you want to see on the pod?
Wow. I definitely want to see my homie Saint, my homie Nolan. You know what I'm saying? He's a great film photographer. He's been shooting as much as I've been shooting in a sense, and he's a senior. And
Howard?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been doing it, and his quality and the way he visions art alone is just on another level, and I respect it to a high degree for sure. And then another person I want to see on the pod, You know what's crazy? I want to see like a hairstylist on the pod. I want to see someone that goes through like the experience of like beautifying campus and like what that's like on themselves and also other people. So maybe like a hairstylist or like a makeup artist, something like that. Like I feel like that's another, you know, segment which we don't get a chance to see a lot of. So
stay tuned.
Stay tuned for sure.
You know what I'm saying? With that being said, thank you for sitting on the curb with us. You know, I hope you enjoyed this episode with the one and only TCShotIt. And with that, we're signing out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all.